And our next guest is very angry about that, and I don't blame him. A warm welcome to campaigner against the North Eye Asylum Seeker Centre, Jeff Newman. Morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you doing?
I'm very, very well. First of all, let's sort of lay out your situation, as it were. Tell us about the North Eye prison. They want to put about 1,300 asylum seekers in it?
1,200, so need to get that right. Although they did say that 400 will be arriving in September, which has now been deferred somewhat. So hopefully they'll keep deferring it until it runs out of time. But you're absolutely right. It is about the concentration of the population in these centres. I mean, there's a couple of 100,000 people seeking asylum, and a couple of 100,000, given the size of our current population, is not a big deal if it was spread out evenly. But it's when you put them into accommodation centres, it just changes the dynamics of those communities. I mean, for instance, I've got some figures here from the Home Office, actually, from the Home Office, that per 10,000 population, Bexhill will be expecting 274 asylum seekers per 10,000 head of population, compared with Brighton of 9.
Yeah, but you know what's going on here, Jeff, and this is what the people of Portland in Dorset are saying, where the Bibby Stockholm migrant barge is moored up. They're saying, well, you know, the government wanted to put these barges in London, you know, Tilbury docks. They also wanted to put them in the docks at Liverpool. Now, these are mighty metropolises, and they turn around to the government and say, you do that and there will be hell to pay. We will not put up with this. So the government moves on to small communities, tiny communities that can't do much about it. And they also, by the way, paid off the local council with about 2 million quid, sort of sweetness money, really. And so, as I understand it, North Eye Prison is right near a very small village called, is it Little Common or something like that? And this is it, isn't it? It's small rural communities that the government are riding roughshod over, and you never got consulted once about this, did you?
No, not at all. You know, and that's something that it really is very, very irksome. We've had freedom of information requests that have been sent back with, we don't have this information. That was it. And we've had loads of freedom of information.
They do have it, though, don't they? They obviously have it.
No, Kevin, they don't, because if they say they don't, they don't.
Yeah, oh, OK, fair enough.
However, if the council are content with getting some sweeteners, well, what's going to happen is that within a 3-mile radius of North Eye, which is a walking distance within an hour, we've got 23,000 houses within that area. That if you just say all their valuations are going to fall by a few percentage, then that's going to move them into a different council tax band, which means the council tax received by the council would go down. And I don't think that... Oh, we've got a pigeon here. Sorry about that.
That's
just
all right.
Pet pigeon.
Of course. You have a pet pigeon, did you say?
Well, it is, actually. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll come back to that.
Come back to the pigeon later.
I don't know what to say. Anyway, feathers are flying down there in North Eye, right?
Yeah. But it's just the concentration. If you spread those amount of people over the whole country, that the government's going to have to pay for these people anyway. Mm-hmm. So why not use the 4 million people in the country that have got enhanced DBS checks already done, they're already in place, and pay them and just spread the numbers out more thinly. So we've got 1,000 towns between 10,000 and 75,000 population. Do it pro rata and have people, you know, request that they have an asylum seeker, and they could make £35,000 a year.
There you go.
Because that's what the big companies are getting.
Yeah, tell us, Jeff, sum up what your relationship has been with the government, with the Home Office, as you try to point out that this is not the place to put 1,200 migrants, not the place to maybe spend £20 million renovating a derelict prison. How have the government been with you? It sounds to me like it's been obfuscation, a lack of communication, an ignoring of your complaints, riding roughshod over you.
Yes, and I'd say that if I was the government protecting my corner, I'd be doing exactly the same, you know, because they're there to...
hang on, we're not here to cut them any slack, Jeff. Is that your pigeon again?
Yeah, well, no, my pigeon. 7 o'clock in the morning, Kevin.
Well, yeah, you know, the pigeons are early risers, you know.
The thing we want to hear is, I tell you, Kevin, but the main thing is that the government has been very, very reluctant to share any information. A freedom of information request is a legitimate request, and they just ignore it completely. So it's just not good. It's not good. But we are where we are, and all we're trying to do here really is deal with the secondary problem of, you know, where to put the people. Yeah. The primary problem, as you already point out, is the boats, and that can be solved simply by changing the border force from a noun to a verb.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
It's just a name. They didn't make it into a verb. It's a border force.
Absolutely. Now, just before you go, Jeff, good to talk to you as always. Just sum up where you are now. That you are still being threatened with the imposition of, did you say 400 migrants in September? They're hoping to get this prison up and running. Yeah,
it's been deferred, but it's a bit like living under the sword of Damocles. You know, that nobody really knows what's happening. Meanwhile, you know, locals are in a state of panic because, you know, those that are trying to sell their houses are having to take a huge hit if they want to sell. Now, that's going to lead to a bigger problem, a massive problem. The 20 million that you say it's the cost to get this thing off the ground, that's nothing, because the government are going to be hit with 23,000 blight notices.
Really?
Because, yeah, they will be, because people... You know, why should the people suffer because of what the government's doing? So when you get planning going in, the next thing is that if you've been hard done by it because of the planning, apply for a blight notice. And even if you took a few percentage differences in your previous price to what you then can get, that's 175 million.
So to sum up, Jeff, this plan to renovate North Eye Prison and put 1,200 migrants in there, deferred though it is, it's still on the cards, has created a kind of a chaos locally.
It's chaos, and it's like an impending doom, and you're punishing people. Why don't you reward people, change the zeitgeist, reward people for having them in their homes? You know, the government's got to spend the money anyway, so reward them. You've got this huge number of people that are already being checked. All it needs is a laptop and a spreadsheet. And then have one-to-one monitoring by the homeowner. Any sort of problems, they're on the phone to the Home Office. It's an easy problem, but it's the concentration of them is the problem.
Listen, yeah. Jeff, time is against us, but it's always good to talk to you, and we will talk again soon.